Hello? Hello?
Hey, Matthias, can you hear me? Are you there?
James, anybody here?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you.
I can't see you either.
Well, take the lens cap off the camera then.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Ah, there you are!
Here we are in the Matthias Lebo studio in Zurich. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special Across the Ocean. I hope you enjoyed that little false start there. Yeah, I happen to be on my way to the Sardine run in South Africa with a 12-hour layover in Zurich, flying Swiss Air. So what else are we going to do?
Of course.
So Matthias and I have been hanging in his studio all day, together with Sebastian, who's been keeping us well plied with really, really strong coffee because I don't sleep well on airplanes, as everyone knows. Yeah, no, we just figured we'd schedule this live session and have a Q&A and basically just go through our plans for the future of Across the Ocean as a series and our general plans for the rest of the year, seeing as we're at the halfway point now, beginning of July, and really take it from there. So the comment section is there for you guys. Finally, Matthias and I are in the same room. We get to hang out and actually, you know, having collaborated already for many, many months. So yeah, ask us anything. What's on your mind? You want to talk about camera equipment? You want to talk about filming techniques? You want to talk about scuba gear, scuba techniques, anything like that?
You want to talk about the Sardine run?
Absolutely. Sardine run, underwater videography school, courses, DEMA. We got a lot to get through. So comment section is your friend. We will say hello to as many people as we can who are present online. We've had a few already pre-comments before we went live, which is fantastic to see. So yeah, this is just great to be here, man. It's awesome that we can make this happen.
Well, thank you very much for actually being here. It's a pleasure having you. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. And by the way, happy 4th of July to all the Americans out there watching us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to actually be able to do this in person, live, one-on-one, rather than over the internet, which has worked great for us, but this is still different, you know. Being able to sit right next to you here is really cool. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I've never been to Zurich before, so we just went for a walk down to the lake, and that was beautiful, and got some fresh air. Absolutely fantastic. And you know, I wasn't really sure that this was going to be able to happen based on entry requirements, COVID, Switzerland's rules, airlines rules. Could we even get through? You know, would I be able to leave? Because I'm only in transit.
Exactly.
You know, leaving this evening for Johannesburg. So it's, you know, it's amazing that we managed to pull it out of the bag. I'm really happy. So phenomenal. And we've got big plans through the rest of the year. So yeah, like I said, I'm on the way to the Sardine run. That's my next mission.
That's awesome. I envy you. I can't wait to see that footage that you'll collect during the next 2 weeks.
Don't bloody pretend like I didn't invite you, all right?
True. I can only blame myself. I can only blame myself for not being able to make it. Still, there's a little bit of envy there and a little bit of sadness that I wasn't able to make it.
Well, I think if the Sardine run goes as well as we expect it to or hope that it will, it'll be an annual event. We'll do it year after year because I think it's just going to be one of those things we really, you know, are going to enjoy. Oh, Richard's in the house. Richard Tessel, who is or should be on his way to
fantastic.
South Africa. Hopefully.
Excellent.
You're probably already in the Protea Hotel in Johannesburg, waiting for the rest of us. So, hey, Kenneth, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the chat. Great to have you here. Mike Mazel's in the house, tech student of mine. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Excellent. All right, so we've got a lot of good stuff. So yeah, Sardine Run is going to be epic. It's been on the bucket list for a long time. It's going to be a lot of a new style of diving for a lot of people that are coming on the trip, and it's going to be a challenge for a lot of people that have been diving in the comfort zone with, you know, boat charter operations and everything's very cushy and prepared, and hey, can I defog your mask for you and this kind of thing. And now it's going to be like, okay, this is wilderness expedition diving. This is self-reliant diving, not solo diving, but self-reliant. And you're out there in the sort of National Geographic, BBC wildlife documentary where it's just going to be, you know, crazy wildlife, really sort of spontaneous. Quick, get in the water. Now, action, go. And grab your cameras and get in the water. So we've got 2 weeks, back-to-back weeks of that. And then my wife and I are going for a little bit of a safari afterwards in Kruger National Park because
why not?
We're in South Africa, right? I mean,
of course,
got to go see the Big Five. So looking forward to that. What have you got planned for the next coming months?
Well, I'll be finishing up on my online underwater videography courses that I've been planning for a long time. I've been working on for a long time. They're in the finishing stages, so they should be launched, if everything goes as planned, by the end of August. So that's going to keep me busy for the next month and a half or so. And then after that, it's in October, I'll be going to Madeira Island to actually film or create the official film of the World Championship in underwater photography and videography.
So you're actually filming the filming competition?
Correct, yeah. The past couple of times I was there as a contestant, and now they've asked me to come and actually film the event for them, so that they'll have a bit of a trailer in front of the event at the opening ceremony, and we'll have like a sort of an event film at the closing ceremony at the end of the event.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let's go back to the videography courses, though, because you skimmed over there, man. I mean, this is something you've been working on. We've been talking about it for months.
Yeah.
And it's finally around the corner that you're going to launch these courses. Yeah. So 2 levels, right? Beginner and sort of a more advanced course?
Advanced shooters, yeah, correct.
Like, when you say beginner, who really are these courses aimed at?
Well, beginner course is really aimed at people that have no experience filming underwater.
None whatsoever.
Just none, or just very little. Okay, right. It's aimed at people who are using action cameras, GoPros, paralens cameras, Osmo Actions, all that sort of stuff, or point-and-shoot cameras, like for example a TG6 from Olympus, that sort of stuff. We cover the basics, so it's not really we're not really going to go into camera settings and all that sort of stuff, but it's more the basics of filming underwater. We'll cover everything really, from like best practices for filming underwater, tips and tricks. We'll also go into the editing part, not too deep because that's more in the advanced section in my opinion. It's something that's more on the advanced side, but we'll do a little bit of that as well. We'll also talk about how to care for your underwater filming equipment. There's just a lot of hands-on stuff and a lot of stuff that I put in there from my own experience of filming for more than a decade now underwater. This is going to be somewhere between 2.5 and 3 hours of content put into individual lessons. There's going to be 12 or 13 lessons in the end in that beginner's course that will just lead you from actually picking out a specific camera that suits your needs and your budget and what you want to do with it, all the way to actually producing a short film with the footage that you've collected.
That's pretty ambitious. I like it.
That's the aim of that beginner's course.
Right.
And then the advanced course obviously goes more into using cameras with advanced settings, like for example the GH5 from Panasonic or an A7 III or anything like that, where you can use your manual modes with using or setting the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO manually, controlling a lot of these parameters on your camera to get the image that you really want, and then start getting more into the cinematic sort of stuff. Storytelling is a big part of the second course, how to create an engaging story, how to script the story. We look at storyboards, what should be in a storyboard, how you can actually make sure that you follow a storyboard, even on something like a dive where a lot of things are not predictable, right?
Right.
And then in the end,
you've got to kind of shoot as you go along and just see what you can find.
Exactly. Sort of semi-freestyle it, but also have most of it pre-planned and in different versions, so you can just go the way whichever or whatever happens underwater and what you can actually capture. So that's the second part, and that's aimed at people that already have experience filming underwater and people that have just upgraded to a bigger rig, and they want to take use of all the extra functions that the bigger rig offers them. Absolutely, man. Awesome. And congratulations, because I know how much work went into it, like planning the course, planning the syllabus, and then executing all that content. It's going to be an epic bundle, and loads of people are going to get value out of it for sure. Hopefully. As I have from your regular content on YouTube. So hopefully, yeah, I think it's going to be phenomenal. Awesome. Really, really good. Great. So that takes us through September, and then we got questions. Can I just add one more thing to this? Of course. Because actually, there's going to be a competition that I'm launching for like the launch of the course as well. I'm giving away one of these courses, and to enter the competition, we'll probably put it down in the comment section below, the link to it. There's a link on my website that you can just register. You just need to leave your name and your email address, and you'll enter the draw, which will happen at the 15th of August. We'll draw one lucky winner who will win either a beginner's or an advanced course of the underwater videography courses there. Awesome.
Awesome, man. Good luck to that. Who we got here? We got Cy Locken. Hello, James and Matthias. Good evening from Qatar. Good evening to you, Cy.
Hello, Juhani.
Juhani, hi guys. Doing? Nice. Have we got any questions here? Here we go. What game plan or goals should I have living for 3 or maybe more years on Grand Cayman as someone who's never dove but always dreamed of it? What a great question.
Whoa.
So you got 3 years in one location, one fantastic diving location.
Not bad.
Having never dived before, what's a reasonable amount you would expect somebody to achieve in 3 years?
Personally, I think that you can, well, you can go all the way up to dive master in 3 years. If you want, even to an instructor, I think 3 years in one location, depending on also how much time you want to put into the diving. Yeah. That's a big thing, because if you're 3 years in one location, but you can only spare 1 weekend a month to dive, it's just, you're limited to where you can go.
Yeah, agreed.
But if this is one of the main focus points that you want to put on during those 3 years, I think you can go all the way, really. 3 years, it's a long time.
Yeah, agreed. Or if you don't want to go the professional route, then tech diving. There's a lot of good tech centers on Grand Cayman as well. You've got the deep water for it, so it's a great training facility from that. Yeah, I agree. I think it's reasonable if you can get a consistently decent number of dives per week, per month, in that you could expect to get to instructor level by 3 years. You know, I don't think that's 0 to hero. I don't think it's rushing it. I know we're both against 0 to hero. I think you've got good amount of time there. So definitely that. I mean, you know, but ease into it. You know, don't put the cart before the horses. It's great that you've got a vision and a long-term plan, but let's get the open water course out of the way first, and then go from there. But yeah, there's probably no better place in the world that you could spend 3 whole years and take your training to wherever you want it to go.
Absolutely.
You know, it just depends how much, like you said, time, money, and effort you can dedicate towards scuba diving.
Want to also. I think it's also a very good idea. I mean, 3 years, such a long time. If you get into diving, just experiment with different types of diving. You know, just go to different specialties. Try the tech diving if that's something that appeals to you. Try photography or videography, or try any other part of the diving sector that appeals to you, and just give it a try and see what works out best for you and what you enjoy most, and then just dedicate extra time to that and develop your skills in that particular area. Absolutely.
I thought that was a great question. Thanks so much. Let's have a look here. Hello, what is your favorite full face mask? Is OTS regulator not that good?
Oh, that's a question for you.
Yeah, I have the OTS Guardian. The regulator on it is good for a full face mask. It's not going to compete with a purpose designed regulator because it has to deal with a certain amount of free flow nature, make sure the airspace is always neutral and all that kind of good stuff. My favorite full face mask is the OTS Guardian. I've dived Ocean Reef before. I've never dove the smaller OTS, I think it's called the Spectra or Spectrum or something like that, because I tried it on once. It was just too small for my face. But the Guardian fits me really, really well. We use it for public safety diving and public safety instruction. It's kind of our go-to rig. So, but no, in terms of the regulator, like, you're not going to be diving a full face mask super, super deep. You're not going to be diving at really high ambient pressures. So the regulator doesn't have to be the best regulator in the world. And to be honest, it's really the first stage that's going to be doing all the work for it. So as long as you pair it with a regulator that's putting out, a first stage regulator that's putting out the appropriate intermediary pressure, you shouldn't have any issues at all. So yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Price Diver, thanks so much for your question. Appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Hello, both. Go on, you say this one.
Do either experience underwater with the Nikon W300? On paper, it looks similar to the TG5 and TG6. Well, personally, I have no experience with the Nikon W300 underwater. Have you?
No.
No.
Same. Sadly not.
Sorry to disappoint there, but we can't both really say much to that model of camera.
Yeah.
All right. So
that looks like the end of the questions for now, but keep the questions coming in the comment section.
We'll just answer them as they keep coming in. So what I was really interested in, and I talked to you about this a little earlier when we were just preparing for the live stream, and maybe some of the people out there find that fascinating as well. I really want to know what kind of gear, of rig that you've decided to take with you to film the Sardine run. Obviously, from a underwater videographer part of view, that's very interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, camera gear, I mean, is basically the big camera rig that I built out on the channel. So basically very similar to what you've got. The Nauticam housing for the Ninja 5 or Ninja V, I still don't know what it's properly called, and the GH5 Nauticam housing as well, with the HDMI full out, 10-bit, 4K 60, beautiful, and of course the Light and Motion big boy 15,000 lumens with the ambient blue filters on them.
Cool.
Same like Keldon. I mean, the ambient blue filters do exactly the same job. They're beautiful for mixed light conditions, and we're going to be diving super shallow. You know, it's going to be 40, 50 feet max, you know, top of the water column, to enjoy the sort of action and have the best viewing experience, right? So ambient light filters, fantastic, all that good stuff. Dive gear wise, I'm going pretty heavy with Dive Right because they're sponsoring one of the videos that we're making in South Africa. So they were kind enough to send me their new Transpac XT Travel, it's called, which is an extension of the Transpac modular range. Just with a nice 30-pound Cordura bladder wing encasement, but with the nice padded sort of, you know, bit stronger than the Hydrolite. This is going to be cold water diving. I'm going to be in my 7mm, so Bear set me up with a Bear Reactive 7mm.
Cool.
And a complete set of exo wear, so I can layer accordingly, which is kind of nice because you don't know how cold it's going to be. They're like, oh, it's going to be between 13 and 18. Well, there's a big difference there.
There's a very big difference.
So it was like, okay, well, I'm going to take my 7mm for 13, and then you know, I've got extra layers if I'm cold after that. But I think we're going to be pretty good on that. But yeah, so apart from that, I'm going to be pretty much head to toe with Dive Right XT fins, the S355 mask, line cutter, DSMB 120-foot spool, thigh pocket, the Dive Right Advanced Adventure open water regulator set.
Wow.
Which is a bit of a mouthful, but that's what it's actually called. So that's fantastic. The only thing that will not be Dive Right is they don't make dive computers, so I'll be diving my Garmin, which will be my everyday wear watch as well. But yeah, no, so just a little bit of a tweak. Couldn't really take the Hydrolite. People who watch, you know, my channel regularly know that I love that Hydrolite BCD, and I dive it all the time in Florida. But with the thicker suit, I'm going to need more weight, which means I'm going to need more lift. So the Hydrolite's not really meant for that cold water environment, which is why Dive Right kind of bumped me up in terms of a little bit of durability, lift, and weight carrying capacity. So yeah, all that good stuff. So that's pretty much it. Dive Right, Bear, Garmin, dive computer, and then the Nauticam light and motion setup for the filming. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait, you know, just super excited to see what we're going to film down there, because you don't know, you know. You've seen all the films, you've looked at all the different aspects of it, and you're trying to prepare in your mind, but ultimately it's an adventure. You know, we could see everything, we could see nothing, we could see everything all at the same time, and you know, it could be completely out of control. So
of course. Are you taking your GoPro as well in terms of recording, you know, slow motion stuff? Yeah,
quite possibly. I'll whack it up to the, you know, 120 frames per second and just let it run. I like similar to yours. I've got a ball mount that goes on here.
Yeah, so you can just attach it there.
Yeah, so it just kind of protrudes under the housing. Press record, let it run on 120, and then you can get super sexy slow-mo.
Nice.
And then my wife Karina will be joining us for the second week, so then I will take the GoPro off and put it on a single arm tray with a single light for her, and she'll pot around and loves filming that.
Awesome.
So yeah, probably awesome. So yeah, I mean, that basically takes up my whole month of July, man. I mean, that's insane. August, we've got students booked through. September, same. October, the same. I mean, we're crazy busy with students at Miami Technical Diving. And then November, you're going to come to Miami, baby, right?
I am.
Excellent. So we're going to get some diving done?
We are. Absolutely. I can't wait to get in the water with you.
Good. What are you looking forward to from Florida diving?
Well, I haven't done any wrecks in a very long time.
Okay.
I haven't done any warm water diving in a very long time. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to actually getting, you know, I've done some tech certifications and stuff, but I haven't dived tech in a very long time. Maybe we can get a little bit back into diving tech, depending on how we go time-wise and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm easy when it comes to diving. You know, just give me a warm paddle of water and a full tank of air. I'm happy as I can be.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
all I need.
Well, your requirements are very low, sir. You know, you're not going to tax me too much.
Can we fulfill that?
Wreck diving, warm water, full tanks. Yeah, I think I can manage. Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Excellent.
So you're going to come out. We'll obviously film. We'll make content.
Absolutely.
Maybe a shootout, something like that.
Maybe. Why not?
Wild
Bring out
West
those
style.
guns.
Absolutely. Obviously, I've got to take you on the tour of the Spiegel Grove.
Okay.
Third biggest artificial reef in the world. My playground, my office, if you will.
I'll come. You come to my office. I'll happily come to your office.
There you go. Actually, the video is going to drop on the channel tomorrow morning at 6:30. My usual weekly video will be a guided DPV tour of the Spiegel Grove.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, so you get to see that. That would be a little taster for you as well for when we head down there. And yeah, she's an epic shipwreck, so we got to check her out inside and out. Tech refresher, we can do that pretty easy. And then for our sins, we're both heading to Dima.
We are.
Las Vegas.
I don't know what's waiting for me there.
Have you been to Dima before?
I have not been to Dima. I've been to Vegas before, but not to Dima.
Dima is okay. I hate Vegas.
So you'd rather have it in Orlando?
Oh yeah, I can drive to Orlando.
Yeah,
3.5 hours. I just go, come home when I want to, done, you know. Vegas, I think the last time it was in Vegas, which would have been 2018, I think. I think 19 was Orlando, or the other way around. Anyway, by day 4, my wife and I were both done with Vegas, rented a car, drove out the city, went to Utah and did like national park and stuff like that. We were like, I'm done. I can't do the recycled air and the no daylight and the crappy overpriced food and the bad coffee. I can't do it anymore. It's
enough.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. So it's, you know, it's a lot of work. It's also a lot of fun. It's a lot, you know, it's good because you get to socialize with people who you've known in the industry for a long time that have moved to Indonesia, or they're teaching out of Malta, or, you know, Tenerife or something like that. And everyone's in the same place at the same time. Yeah. But why are you having a scuba diving conference in the middle of the desert? I don't really understand. It doesn't make sense to me. So
because you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll make the best out of it.
We surely will. Absolutely. We got a question from Christian Norton. Questions, guys, in the comments section. We have, as always, Matthias's faithful assistant, Mr. Sebastian.
Friend. Let's call him friend.
Well, yeah, call him whatever you want. I mean, I'm just jealous because I don't have one. Friend or assistant.
Hold on. We have to, just for the record, James was trying several times during the day today to steal my Sebastian.
Absolutely, I was. I saw the performance. I saw the quality.
Yeah.
I know he gets paid in beer. So, you know, absolutely. All I had to do was make a better offer. And he's on the plane to Miami with me.
Or to Johannesburg.
Well, that first, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, Christian Norton asked, James, coming to Orlando next year for some vacation cruises. If you had 2 days open, you could dive. Any thoughts on boats, dive sites, top of your list? Well, Orlando is in the middle of the state, as you probably are aware, but maybe that means you're flying into Orlando and getting on a cruise either in Tampa or Jacksonville or somewhere on the Space Coast. I'm not sure exactly where you're embarking. But if you're coming in early and you're leaving by cruise, that means you can dive for the 2 days because there's no flight once you get on the ship, obviously. I mean, Orlando for me, when I think of Orlando, I think of cave country because it's right there. It's a short drive outside of Orlando. You're in Lake City, and you know Gainesville is not too far away, and those are basically the gateways into cave country and the springs. You don't have to be overhead certified to dive in the springs. They're open water, beautiful visibility, cold, but you know, lovely. But for me, you know, the best diving for me, I've said it before, I'll say it 100 times again. The best diving in Florida is South Florida. It's the Rex, it's West Palm Beach, Jupiter, Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Key Largo, Isla Mirada, like anywhere down on the Atlantic coast of South Florida, for me is where I would choose to spend my time if I only had 2 days. If you get to Pompano, you're probably about 2.5 hours from Orlando. So again, just depends where you're vacation cruises are departing from. Hope that answered your question, Christian. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh.
Hi guys, I was introduced to diving in December 2020 and I'm addicted already. That's good to hear.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Any tips on how to not get so addicted, and can you overcome the age restriction for doing courses in diving?
Okay. No, I'm addicted to diving, so obviously I have no idea about how to not get so addicted. Any idea?
Well,
Why
no.
wouldn't you want to be addicted to diving? I mean, it's perfectly healthy.
And it's nothing wrong with that. Most people that start diving get addicted to it. It's just something that's very much natural to diving per se.
Yeah, it's a very addictive. It's not just about the diving and the underwater experience. It's also the lifestyle, the people you meet, and just falling into that kind of the culture of scuba diving as well as the actual activity. And then it says, can you overcome the age restriction for doing courses in diving? Yes, you can in time. I mean, right? You just
good answer.
Get older, and eventually you'll get older, and then you'll be good.
Good answer.
Size back again. I want to finish all the courses before completing my teenage, but the age criteria is restrictions on me. Any idea how I can do it? Well, so the age restrictions are very simple. 10 years old for junior open water. 15, you can upgrade to adult. 15 to 19, you've still got 4 years there where you can do your adult certifications. So I'm not sure which courses you're exactly talking about. Tech courses all start at 18, so you've got to be 18 years old if that's a thing. I think there's a junior dive master now where you can be a dive master at 16, but I don't think it's like full professional. I think it's like
more of like a training.
Yeah, apprenticeship, workmanship kind of thing. I haven't really read the specs because it came along after I left Paddy, so I haven't really read up on it. But you've got options and you've got time, man. Don't be in a hurry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, why the rush? I mean, what is the reason that you want to finish all these courses in your teens? Nothing like get your initial courses done, get some additional training, and then just get experience. That's what I recommend to everyone. Just go out there and dive. Don't be worried too much about courses and, all certifications. It's not about collecting certification cards. It's about collecting experiences and going places, diving, getting experience. All that sort of stuff. The cards, well, in the end, they don't really matter too much. As long as, because at one stage, you've mastered the basics of diving. I don't want to say you mastered diving, but the basics of diving. And then you just progress even without getting any further certifications, but just going diving and collecting experience.
Yeah, I'd rather dive as with a buddy who's an open water diver and has 1,000 dives than a dive master who has 60 dives.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's not about the courses and the levels. It's about your experience and how well rounded you are as a diver.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go.
Karina, hey Matthias, what American dish do you want for dinner when you visit us in Miami? Ooh,
my wife.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I might need to place here that I'm vegetarian or somewhere between vegan and vegetarian.
What does that mean?
Well, that I eat, I cook vegan, but I eat vegetarian when I'm out because it's sometimes too complicated to.
Understood.
To be insisting on the vegan diet.
Fair enough.
So no meat, obviously no fish, no seafood. That's a big no-no for me. Anything other than that, I'm very open. I like spicy food a lot. So if you can come up with a really spicy dish that just combines a lot of different flavors, that's my cup of tea.
Oh, I've got you. We do we've got a couple of things we can do on our list there.
Cool.
We can do we did a vegan nasi goreng.
Oh, wow.
We can do that.
Nice.
That's very nice. And we do a cauliflower and coconut tikka masala.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. That's going to rock your world.
Can I come tomorrow?
So, no, because we won't be there.
Oh, well, Karina will.
Well, Karina will, yeah, exactly. All right, what we got on?
Any tips on getting underwater macro video? I've not got myself a tray. It is essentially using a TG. Is it essentially using a TG5? By tray, the handles. Yep. Well, yes. If you want to get decent macro footage with the TG5 or 6 or any smaller camera or any camera really, I always recommend using a tripod. Not really, the tray is fine because you can mount lights and stuff on there, and if you're using it handheld, it's just going to be more stable for you to use it that way, but always use a tripod. I've got a tripod mounted pretty much constantly to the setup here that I can just unfold. Whenever I shoot with GoPros or any action cameras, I always have a little Gorilla tripod screwed onto the bottom of the tray, and it's not like you're carrying a lot of stuff with you, but it just gives you that extra stability that you need to capture macro. Because with macro, you know that as well, as soon as you have the tiniest movement on your camera, it just magnifies that in the macro mode, and the footage is unusable. So that's probably the best tip that I can give you.
Yeah, that's why I don't shoot a lot of macro, because I'm not good at it and don't have a tripod and I'm not stable enough. So yeah, I mean, failing the investment in a tripod, if you've got a tray and you are shooting something that's small and in the sand or at sand level, then yeah, of course you can rest the tray on the sand as long as you're not disturbing any plant or animal life. Or you can use your elbows in the sand to stabilize a shot and act as your tripod. But definitely the tripod's going to make it the most stable and give you the most, you know, cinematic and steady footage for sure. Absolutely.
It's also a big advantage of tripods is that you can put your camera on the tripod, you can press record, you can leave the camera there. Just for example, if you've got like any creature that's living inside a hole and you're waiting, gobies for example, or any shrimps or anything that will come out, but normally they won't come out as long as you're in front of the hole. So you can then place the camera there, press record, you can go back a couple of meters and just have it there for a minute to record, and then later on you can see if you got something in that clip. And that's how I get a lot of my macro shots actually. Just place it there.
And wait.
And just wait. It's a waiting game, the macro stuff.
Yeah.
It really is.
Jawfish as well, that's another classic one, where you've got the jawfish coming out of its hole, and as soon as you get close it shoots down again. Leave your camera there, you swim off out of it, and then wait for it to
come back out.
Hey guys, hey, how are you?
Yeah,
you know, that kind of cool stuff. All right, this is to you, sir.
All right, do you had the chance to get the backscatter lights wet? I was looking at them and can't wait for your opinion. Thanks for being awesome and greetings from Austria.
Thanks for being awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Whoa, yes. I do what I can.
Yeah.
Seriously, these lights, yes, I have had the chance to test them in the water yet, and I really like them. There's going to be some footage that will be released on my channel very soon about these lights. It's going to be a... but the proper review will still take a little moment because I haven't tested them enough. I've done a bit of testing with the snoot that comes with it, the snoot module.
Oh, the snoot comes with?
Yeah, you get a snoot module with it. You get different filters, like color filters, so you can actually illuminate the background in a different color. Then you actually illuminate the object that you're snooting, and you can get some really creative shots.
That's cool.
I really like that they're so small. They're very easy to use. The power is okay. It's 4,300 lumen for macro, more than enough. Because you've got this, like a snoot model, a macro mode on here, which bundles the light, makes it even stronger. For the wide angle, just not enough experience yet to really be giving you an honest opinion whether or not the 4,300 lumen is enough. But yeah, all in all, a very nice, compact, travel-friendly light. I like that you can change that there's changeable batteries, so you can just exchange the batteries, put new ones in there in between dives. Yeah, first impression, very nice. I'll be doing more testing, and there's going to be clips and sample footage on my channel very soon in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of uploads actually.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for that question.
Very cool. I am diving in lakes, mostly as I start my diving career. Is a good filter for greenish water lakes? Yeah, absolutely. So for greenish water, you want to go with a magenta filter, and just like red filters for blue water, you can get different densities. So the deeper you go, the more color you're going to lose, the more you have to replace, but then also the denser your filter is, the darker it appears on the surface, if you will, the more light it's going to block getting through to the lens. So then you have to dial up your ISO, your exposure, your aperture, and get the balance right between those three again, because you're actually, not only are you deepest, you're getting less ambient light, but you're also blocking more of the ambient light that you are getting. But yeah, so you're looking for greenish water. Magenta will give you the same results as red filters do in blue water. Hope that answers your question, Rami. Thank you so much.
James is with, yeah, well, right here.
Somebody was late to the party.
Hello.
Live and in person. I am not a hologram.
Hello, Justin. Good to see you here.
Good to see you, Justin. Look at that.
Is there any apps you recommend for color editing videos and photos for iPad?
Yeah.
Interesting. Have you any suggestions for that?
I use, for photos, I use Lightroom for iPad.
Okay.
It's
so you
available
edit
now.
on the iPad?
Yeah, you can do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have done. I normally do it on my computer because I'm there in the office, but I have Lightroom, and then you've got, Adobe Rush for editing and color grading video, which is a more compact version of Premiere, basically, without some of the bigger bells and whistles.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the ones I generally use. I also use the regular Photos edit function.
Yeah.
It's not as good. It doesn't have as much AI sensitivity, artificial intelligence sensitivity that the Adobe products have, in my mind.
Yeah.
But it does an okay job.
Okay.
What about you?
I have never edited anything on my iPad. I have to be very blunt here.
Fair enough.
So I can't really give you any recommendations here. I always edit on my computer, either on my desktop computer or my MacBook.
Yeah, I definitely prefer to, because you've got the bigger screen.
Yeah, and I don't really do a lot of photography. So video editing, I find very difficult if I don't have like a keyboard and I cannot use shortcuts and all that sort of stuff. And I've tried editing like very basic projects on my phone, and I use iMovie for that because that's just what was on my phone, and it worked, but it was more of a hassle than anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sorry, I can't really give any recommendation there.
Thank you for your question. I hope I answered a little bit of it, but there we go. Scuba Life, hi, I've been diving with a GoPro style camera and then using Adobe Lightroom to edit pics. I want to upgrade my camera. Is there any you recommend? Funny you should say this, Scuba Life. I seem to remember maybe 4 or 5 months ago, we made a video with the exact title of, what was it, time to upgrade from action camera, or how to know when you're ready to upgrade from action
something
camera?
like that, along those lines.
So go back to episode 3 or 4-ish of the Across the Ocean series. You can find it on my channel, Divers Ready. You can find it on Matthias Labo on YouTube. And look for the playlist, and then you'll go through, and we give you tons of hints and tips in that video about when it's the right time to upgrade from an action camera and what you should be looking for. So I think that's asked and answered, Your Honor. Yeah,
because it's difficult to give a general answer to that question, because there's a lot of different factors that play into that decision.
There you go. Kenneth Coggan, let's smash that like button. Yes, please.
Let's go.
2 thumbs up. Charles Dunton, James, will be taking my rescue course by the end of the year with Paddy. Want to move on to tech next year, TDI or Paddy Tech? I'm leaning towards TDI. Your opinion?
It's going to be a good one.
Listen, my thing with the Paddy Tech courses is that they've structured it in such a way that there's too many steps. Yeah. It's like there's a 40, and these are in meters, depth, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 72 and a half, 82 and a third. Like there's too many different courses. You basically need advanced nitrox to teach you how to use nitrox percentages from 40% up to 100. You already know 21 to 40 with your regular nitrox certification. So that's the safe handling, O2 cleaning and preparation of equipment for higher pressure oxygen. That allows you then to enroll in a decompression procedures course, and that gives you your 45 meter or 150 feet certification, which is great for doing beginner level technical dives up and down, certainly up and down the eastern coast of Florida, where we dive all the time. Most of what I'm doing is in that 130 to 150 foot range of dives. So those are your entry level courses. So I teach with TDI, so I'm not really biased towards them because I don't really care. But I do think that their course structure makes a little bit more common sense than Paddy's when it comes to the tech diving. Okay. Thanks for your question, Charles. Appreciate it. What else we got?
What are your thoughts on photography liveaboards? Are they good for the beginner photographer? Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
I think they are, because on these boats you'll get so many other photographers and so much experience when it comes to the topic of taking photos underwater or even filming underwater, that I think you can learn a lot on these liveaboard trips. And just by, sitting at dinner time or lunchtime with these guys at the same table and discussing techniques and ways on how to achieve a certain look or get a certain photo underwater will just bump up your ability to take good photos underwater in no time. And it's probably the fastest way to develop as an underwater photographer and just learn from other divers.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. You're going to learn much more doing that sort of immersive experience just through osmosis, just through picking things up, than you would ever do with a formal photography course.
Yeah.
There's never one way to do anything in underwater photography or photography in general. There's never one way to do something. So somebody might show you a different way that you prefer to do, something that you're already doing and so on. And particularly if you get on one of those trips that is led by a super experienced professional underwater videographer. I know my buddy Ben Lair, who's a very accomplished underwater photographer, runs trips out of sort of Southeast Asia on liveaboards all the time. So he's definitely somebody I can recommend to look up. But yeah, long story short, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much for your question. Over to you, sir.
All right, Thomas, my wife needs to stay out of the water for a while due to health reasons. What are your considerations for sharing the dives I do with her until she can get back in the water again?
Oh, wow, okay.
So if I understand correctly, you want her to be able to take part in those dives that you do while she's not able to get in the water herself, right?
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Well, I mean, a good way to do that is to either take photos or take some clips of the dives that you do and show it to her, get her to experience the dives and the locations that you dive during that time in such a way which is probably as close to a real experience as you can get. Yeah, the only thing that I can think of that would be more realistic is if you do a virtual reality, a VR.
Yeah, I mean, I
dive.
think Thomas. I think you're walking a tightrope there, mate, because it could get, if your wife loves diving as much as you do, it could get antagonistic quite quickly. Where you're like, "Hey, look at this awesome dive I just did. I hate you." I don't know. My wife was out of diving for almost a year with back issues, health issues as well. So I feel your kind of pain where you lose your favorite buddy. You're like, oh, okay, now who do I go diving with? One other option is underwater drones. Get a tethered drone, 100-meter cable.
Yeah.
We reviewed one on our channel right at the beginning of our time. Highly maneuverable, and I'm not going to say as much fun as scuba diving, but definitely the next best thing. Absolutely. Big
Good
fun.
idea. Yeah.
So that could be a way to get her involved, and then she can follow you on the dive with the drone and, turn the dive when you turn the dive and come on back to the boat. So I would definitely go with that.
Cool idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. A drone buddy, so to say.
A drone buddy. There you go. Exactly. I'd still recommend you have an actual buddy as well. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a big question. I'm not touching this question. This is you, Matthias.
Okay. How much should a good scuba equipment cost? Well, greetings back to Germany, dear neighbors. How much should a good car cost? I don't know.
What's your definition of good?
Yes, it's very, very difficult to say that. No, I can't give you a figure really there at all. Like, you can spend a lot of money on good diving equipment. You can go cheaperish without being cheap. Very difficult to say.
All right, I'm going to give you minimums.
Here we go.
This is what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, bearing in mind, I'm going to quote you prices in US dollars because I live in the States and I'm not sure how much brands cost over here in the Euro translation and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend less than $600 on a regulated first stage and second stage. I would struggle to find one that I would call good for less than that price point.
Very reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would, depending on what you want to do and how much you want to future-proof yourself with a computer, you're looking at either $500 for a recreational-only dive computer for something that's decent or okay, or around $1,000, give or take, depending which model and features and functions you want, for a more advanced computer that can deal with tech and gas switching and all that kind of stuff. If you think there's a chance you might possibly one day consider going into tech, still buy something like the Shearwater Perdix because you're going to future-proof yourself. And even if you don't go into tech, you've still got a kick-ass recreational dive computer.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Fins these days, a good pair of fins cost like $120, $130 in the US. Good mask, you can spend anywhere from $100 to $200 on. Wetsuit-wise, yeah, I was talking with a friend of mine about this the other day, about how much use you get out of your wetsuit per dollar.
A lot.
So you basically think, okay, well, the more you spend, the better value it is because the better constructed the suit is. So I buy suits that retail for between $485 and $510, but I get thousands of dives out of them before they start looking tatty and worn and faded. And whereas if I buy a cheaper suit, it just doesn't last me as long. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's so hard to put a number on it. I'm gonna say if I had to buy everything from scratch, 4,000
US, right?
US, yeah. 4,000, 3,000. Yeah, probably somewhere between 3 and 4 for a good set. So there you go. That's my answer. That's me doing maths in my head.
Excellent.
What do you think?
I think well done.
So I think we're about the 45-minute mark, and we've got a plane to catch. Well, I have.
You have.
You've got to go and run me back to Zurich Airport. So we've got about 15 more minutes. Matthias, where can I buy socks like yours?
I've got Sharky socks on today, just for the occasion.
I love it.
These socks, I actually bought them in Australia, in Cairns, in the aquarium in Cairns. Just look up Cairns Aquarium on the internet. Maybe they have an online shop where you can buy these. I bought them there when I was in Australia last time.
There you go. Excellent. Now's the time. Is there a way to avoid backscatter on low-vis days? Not totally avoid, but minimize, I would say, negate. Yes, there is, and it's all about balancing the distance of light to your subject. So what you want to try and avoid is having your lights pointing in front of or crossing in front of whatever you're trying to illuminate, be it a piece of coral or a fish or whatever, and just having a ton of light forming that triangle between your camera lens and the objects of your desire. That's just going to blow out all the backscatter. So basically it's about light positioning to illuminate your subject. Can you eliminate it completely? No. If there's backscatter, there's going to be backscatter. If you've got to use light, you've got to use light. So, but that's certainly a way to minimize it. And then the other way is in post, just go through.
Are we talking video or photo?
Yeah, frame by frame, 60 frames per second. Good luck.
Good luck.
Hope you don't have plans for the weekend. Good stuff.
Yeah, totally agree. Also a good tip is if there's a lot of backscatter, just reduce the power of your lights. Because if there's less output power of your lights, there's less chances of getting backscatter, getting the lights further out and then shining them into, not having the objects shine straight onto. Because simple physics, the same angle that a light hits an object, it's going to reflect from that object again. So if you can hit them in an angle that is going to go avoid the lens when it hits it, it's going to get less backscatter on it. Yeah. But yes, I agree.
Great question, though.
Yeah.
Great question. Yeah. Thoughts on buying used equipment? Ooh, I got thoughts on this. I guess we've got to speed up now because we're getting towards the end and we've got questions. So I'll take this one. Thoughts on buying used equipment. Make sure it is name branded. Make sure you ask questions about how much use it's got. Make sure you inspect it inside and out. And then call your local dive shop, your service center, and make sure that they can service whatever it is you're thinking of buying. So if it's the Cressy this or the Scuba Pro that or whatever, make sure you can get it serviced because it might be a great deal, but it's not if you can't get it serviced on a regular basis. And then anytime you buy secondhand dive gear, take it in to get serviced.
Agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see, we got something else here. Oh, Rami's back.
Where can I get a print of the turtle photo on your wall? Well, send me your email. I'll be more than happy to send you the JPEG. This is a very old photo that I've taken also back in Australia on a small point-and-shoot camera, probably about nearly 20 years ago. Yeah,
it is a great composition, though. It's a really beautiful composition.
It was actually taken snorkeling, skin diving.
Oh yeah, lovely.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Remy, send me a message on my channel, through my channel, on my email address. I'll be more than happy to send you the JPEG so you can then print it for yourself.
Nice, that's a great deal.
I wonder if there are Blue Planet level cinematographers that do internships or intense classes.
That's just Critter Hunter's stream of consciousness. He's just wondering.
Well, thank you for participating.
Yeah, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, it is.
Favorite dive sites?
Favorite dive sites?
Go on.
I love Bali. I've used to work there for a good year, and I think Bali has some of the most awesome dive sites I've ever seen. Basically all of that area I like. Raja Ampat in Indonesia, West Papua. There's just too many great dive sites, but those probably amongst the top picks on my list.
Yeah, that's fair. North Wall of Grand Cayman for me. San Francisco Maru in Truk. Blue Corner in Palau.
Yeah.
German Channel for the mantas in Palau, where you've got coral, a dredged canal, and then super thin level of water over the top of the coral, so it basically makes a highway through the reef.
That's cool.
And then you can just lie on your back and watch the mantas go over. That's a really nice
pretty
one.
dive, yeah.
And the Pelagic Magic Dive in Kona, Hawaii, the Blackwater night dive.
Ooh, nice.
Love it. That was amazing. That was so cool.
Cool.
There you go. What else we got?
Hi guys, for a basic entry-level setup, how many lumens do you recommend to start into underwater photography?
Excellent.
I don't think there is really a minimum amount of lumen that you should have to get in there.
Correct.
Whatever you can afford. I mean, this sounds weird, but more is actually better. Because you can always just dial down the intensity if you don't need them, but you've got some spare if you do need them. But whatever you can afford, if like a 2000 lumen light is all you can afford now, go for that. I would also recommend that if your choice is between one higher lumen light and two lower lumen lights, go for the Go for the two lower lumen lights. It's always better to have two lights because you can just more evenly light your image than with just one single light, even if it's got more lumen in that one light.
Yes. But more lumens is always better than less
Always
lumens.
better.
Good.
More is always better.
More is always better. I agree. 100%. Thank you, Santiago. Thanks for your question. All right. So I think that's about all the time we got.
Pretty much.
Right
I think
now,
we basically,
kind of wrap it up. Mate, I just want to say thank you so much for your hospitality. You know, you took me in astray, wandering around Zurich Airport this morning, the arrivals, just started wandering around. And yeah, you know, brought me here, made me tons and tons of coffee.
I had to keep you awake somehow.
Oh, mate, I tell you, it's been a battle. And then, you know, we've been filming a ton of content, so more Across the Oceans episodes coming.
Absolutely.
You're going to make a guest appearance on my channel as well with some videos. And yeah, bring on South Africa and all the great stuff we've got planned through the rest of the year, including your trip to the USA.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much.
All the best of luck
Appreciate it.
South Africa. I can't wait to see the footage.
I can't wait to see the footage.
Enjoy, get the most out of it, and yeah, I can't wait to see you back in Miami in November when I get there.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this impromptu live from Zurich Q&A from the Matthias Lebo State Studio here, channel studio. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media handles, which we will put into the description of this video down below. I'm at Divers Ready, and Matthias is at Matthias Lebo _underwater films, or UW films, I should say. And until next time, which will be Across the Ocean episode 9 coming out
first week of August.
First week in August. There you have it. Okay. That's all from us here in Zurich. Thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
for this
watching.
live stream Q&A. Dive safe, dive often.
See you soon. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.